Adi, Tanya Vilar, the Southern Muse, and we are on day 7, lesson 7 of the Course in Miracles. And I'm so glad you're still here. Yesterday's lesson, coupled with what was going on yesterday, and looking at all that chaos and saying, I am not upset because of what I'm seeing. I am upset because what I'm seeing isn't real. Like, that's a hard one to take. When you're in a tough relationship, when you're struggling with money, and when someone comes up to you and says, just be in the now moment. Because in the now moment, everything is possible and everything you need is right here. Well, you see, I teach this. I would be in course rooms teaching this, and I really believed it with my heart. And I had the humbling experience of having 2 years where nothing went my way. And I did not want to hear anybody telling me that I was upset because I wasn't seeing love. Like, I didn't want to hear that. That's a difficult one to do. So, congratulations for being here to day 7 of the Course in Miracles. And whenever you begin something new, around day 7 and 8, you start to feel a little resistance, right? The motivation for the newness of it all has worn off. And now what appears is your resistance to really own your ability to intend with your free will what you will see for the benefit of all. You see, if you're doing it, like I've done it 2 ways, and the other way never worked. I was listening to Marianne Williamson, and someone asked her, how did she know? And she says, well, I've done it. Every time I forgive easily and really own my ability and my ability to perceive, then my life flows. Every time I don't. Now, judging when I wasn't connected or feeling connected, that doesn't mean I wasn't connected. You understand? I was still connected, I was still loved, but I don't know if the veil came this way and I was lowering a veil, like I saw a subconscious veil, and then it took me 2 years to lower it, or if I was startled and a protection nervous system came up where I became hyper vigilant. Like, I don't know which it really is. When I read the spiritual leader about lifting veils or releasing veils of perception so that we can open up our heart to the situation and connect to the truth, you know? So a lot of this has been in theory, and people that have had experiences can explain it, but they always tell us that words can't put into the experience of the transcendent feeling and how your life changes when you get this part, because really the whole rest of the course is practicing this key pivotal point, that you're not upset for why you think you're upset. You're upset because you're not seeing the truth. You're not seeing love, right? So I'm going to read a little bit from Pam Grout's book. I'm going to make sure you can see it. I've put it in the comments. She has a great way of taking complicated spiritual texts and adding joy to it, and I just think that's just the best. So I want to read to you what she says about um, lesson 7. I think you'll appreciate what she has to say. And I also, if you want to listen further, you can also, another great reference point is Marianne Williamson, of course. I love her stuff. All right. So here we go. I need to get on lesson 7. So, how have you been doing? Like, how has your week been going? Right? Let me know how it's all been going since you've been doing the course. And it's okay if you haven't done it every day. That's all right. You just pick it up right where you are. All right? Here we go. So she says, yesterday's lesson has a tendency to irk newbies. They tend to get plugged in to the course's seeming suggestion that things like Sandy Hook and the Holocaust are illusions or holograms. It doesn't seem quite right, a reader pointed out, to ignore the fact that people died. Okay? Since this relates to lesson 7, I see only the past, I'd like to share my take on it. When I focus on the past, I ignore the astounding love and grace in the right now. Okay? When I truly experience this moment, like with sights, sound, touch, taste, right? When you are in the right now moment, you have access to thinking beyond fear responses. I think that's the biggest point about getting, if you're starting to get upset, hey, I'm in the past and I can't help anybody or anything right now if there is a crisis going on. I can't think if I am only seeing the past. Can you see that? Can you see how valuable you would be on a team in a crisis situation if you could keep your head about you when everyone else is losing their head? What do you think they're doing? They are looking through, seeing it already solved, and then listening for the guidance. Like, that's how you keep your head. You turn it over to your higher self. And your higher self is love. Period. End of story, right? Okay, so when I focus on the past, I ignore the astounding love and grace in the right now. When I truly experience this moment, which is unique in all the world and has never happened before, like this moment we're having, it never happened before. It won't happen again exactly like it happened this time. It is just its own beautiful experience. It's that beautiful. I often don't notice how beautiful the now moment is because I'm dwelling on the past. And if you have high anxiety and you say, no, I'm worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, I'm going to worry about paying my bills. Well, that reference about you not being able to pay your bills comes from something in your past. Okay? Like whatever you're worrying about, I want you to get some sanity in the middle of that insanity and realize that you can't think when you're worrying and you can't access that the now, what it's possible, nor can you have access to everything you need is really at your fingertips. I mean, have you ever had that experience? Like, I want you to get how your perception is. I mean, we're talking about spirituality, we're talking about big stuff like world peace and, you live in happily ever after, right? But let's take it down to something like when you walk into a room and you're late and you're looking for your keys and you can't find your keys. And you go, I just can't find them. Like you're thinking about in the past. You're worried about not getting there on time. The whole while the keys are sitting right there. But you can't see them. That's what this is about. Someone asked me a question about consciousness. Is channeling consciousness? No. Consciousness is you being in the now moment and able to be responsive because you're thinking, you're keeping your head because it's connected to your soul through your heart when everyone else is losing theirs. So, consciousness, even to say the word consciousness, means that there's a free will involved. And the free will is at what level is your free will coming through? Is it the free will to see love and be love and give love, be creative? Or is it to protect yourself from bad things? It is that way. It's all or nothing in the Course in Miracles. You will suffer if you sit on the fence. You know, your suffering comes from having one foot here and one foot here. Like, it's just like, you know, I have faith and love up to a point. You know what I mean? Um, and understanding that this practice helps you connect to the now moment where your ability to be connected and creative is always at your fingertips. All right? So let's go further in what she says, because I think this answers, like, if you're going to commit to this course, the first week is basically the bulk of the practice, like the key points. And now it's going deeper and deeper and deeper into you knowing how to see through the illusion. Now, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. But if we don't want it to happen again, then we need to intervene energetically. Can you see that? Remember, everything starts with energy first before you can feel it and touch it. It's energy, emotion, materialized experience. Okay. So it's not about ignoring tragedy. It's about not ignoring what's possible right now in this moment. It reminds me of a story about a pair of celibate monks. While crossing a river, they noticed a beautiful young woman struggling over the rocks. One of them quietly put her on his back and carried her across. The other monks silently stewed about the indiscretion as they continued their journey. Inside, his mind was just a churning. That's against our vows. We're not supposed to touch female flesh. Finally, able to bear it no longer, he questioned his comrade, who replied, I set her down 4 hours ago. It seems you're the only one still carrying her. By now, you know the drill, right? So for lesson 7, this is what you do. You look around the room and you choose some objects, some random objects. Headband, the purple glasses, and of course, the coffee cup. And then you say, I see only the past in this coffee cup. I see only the past in this headband. I see only the past in these glasses. And you understand, really, that's all you can do. It's whatever you've already assigned these glasses to mean. That's all you're seeing is something that's in your attachment to it in the past. So in order to have access to now, I want to give you an experience. So let's tune in to the now moment. And right before we do, pull up to mind something that's upsetting you. I want you to pull it up. Okay? Now that memory, obviously, all I'm doing is seeing the past. It's bringing up upset, right? Okay, time out. Put your hand on your heart. Do you feel your heart beating? That's the sense of touch. Is anyone right now in your face hurting you? I'm helping you have a reality check. Is anyone right now? If they are, you need to leave or call the police. If somebody is physically or verbally hurting you, move away. If they're not, then why is the pain still going in your brain? Look around the room. Are you in a safe place? Now, with your hand on your heart, you will feel yourself calming down because you're touching yourself and you're giving yourself assurance, right? Then you feel your breath. You're making 60 seconds out of every moment. Listen. What noises do you hear? I hear cars on the street. I hear my puppies in the kennel. I hear the hum of the air conditioner or the heater. I take a deep breath and smell. What do you smell? I smell amber. Now wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. That's a little joyful movement. Now, if you do this every time you get worried or upset, if you interrupt that pattern and say, I'm going to make 60 seconds out of this moment, and you expand that moment, then you'll be able to start seeing what all the sages and everyone that has a miracle, what they're talking about. When you pause, then you'll begin getting these realizations of what to do that come from the inside up. And then you'll realize, just like you eventually find your keys when you calm down, that everything you require right now is at your fingertips. So yeah, lesson 6 and lesson 7 might upset you a bit, but aren't you glad to know that the only reason you're upset is because you're seeing the past, and that the portal to peace, to your affluence, to feeling loved and in a creative relationship is right here in the now moment. So much love to you, and tonight, looking forward to hearing from you. So please share your experience doing the course. And if you want to be in the monthly Zoom room, which is the third Monday of every month, then join my Patreon account and you'll see some other offerings I have there as well. So much love. Go forth and multiply who you are, because who you are is divinity in motion. You're a now moment machine that's waiting for your divine command. And it is, set me free from being upset. Set me free from only seeking relevance in the past. Help me ground into the beautiful now moment. Mwah. Much love.